If you're an agency owner, you know there's a bunch of operations that are happening in your business that are super complex. What if I told you you could automate every single operation in your business with just a few prompts? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that with 3 super useful prompts that you can use in your agency today. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first automation we're going to run is every day find 15 qualified B2B leads for my AI automation agency by searching LinkedIn for companies that are recently funded or hiring for ops roles. Score every lead out of 10, draft a personalized LinkedIn message and a cold email for the best ones, log everything in a Google Sheet, and then email me the top 5 with their pitches ready to send. What we're going to do here is just click enter. Now, as you can see, it's already starting to do the things that we've asked. So it says, great, this is fresh agent. Let me start and set up this B2B lead generation machine. Now, it's got a few questions for us. Which industries do we want to prioritize? So I'm going to say SaaS and healthcare. Yeah, SaaS and healthcare looks good. Obviously, you would just change this for the niche and industry that you're in. Okay, so now it's asking us what company size and stage is your sweet spot. Let's go ahead and click Series A, which is around 30 to 150 employees. And now it's asking for my agency name, my name, and a one-liner describing exactly what we do. So I'm going to say my name, my agency name is Twin Media, and my name is Ryan, and basically what we do is we automate any operations inside of businesses, save them time, money, and have a more optimized business. We're going to submit that. And then from there, that's pretty much everything that it should need to kind of get this going. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to update the goal, as you can see. And now it's going to say, look, this is what we're going to do for step 1. And it will just start working through each one of these steps. Now, inevitably, it will get stuck at some points, but we don't need to prompt it like you would with Manus or Claude, for example. It's just going to keep working through these problems until it gets it right. So while this is working, as you can see, it's going to typically take a few minutes. We can actually get started on the next automation that we want to test out. So the next automation that we want to test out is every day scan Twitter, Reddit, and LinkedIn for people complaining about Zapier, Make, NAN, or Relevance AI, and flag anyone who looks like a potential client. For each hot lead, draft a short personalized DM that quotes exactly what they said, log them all into a Google Sheet, and then send me a Slack alert with the best ones. This is super helpful. We're going to be getting people that already have pain in their business, let's say, and they're probably going to be qualified leads that we can sell. So let's go ahead and run that. And again, it's most likely going to ask us some important questions here that are going to be relevant to actually making this as good as possible for us. So yeah, as you can see, it's saying, who is your ideal client? So let's say founders and CEOs. Then it's asking, what do you offer? So we're going to say AI automation services. And now it's asking which Slack channel we'll be likely to go to. So let's just say you pick. We don't even have to give it a specific one, but obviously you could just pick the Slack channel that you want it to go into. And finally, it's asking us what time of day should we get these. So we're going to run these every day at 8 a.m., let's say. Now here it's just re-clarifying with us what we actually want to do here. So it's like a daily lead scout. Let's click go, or we can just adjust something if we wanted to, but in this example, we'll just go ahead. Now, while these 2 things are running, one other really cool thing I like about Twin is that now you can have projects. So what you can do is you can have a project, for example, and let's say we want to call it Ryan's Agency, and we can actually just drag and drop these current builds that we're doing into these agencies, as you can see right here. And then that way, everything's a little bit more organized. If you've got like multiple agendas that you focused on, multiple sprints, multiple businesses even, you can put them all organized inside of these kind of projects and workspaces, essentially. Now, if we go back and look, the other B2B lead hunter automation is still running. Now it's looking at SaaS and healthcare companies, and it's running an LLM through it. And if we look at the lead scout that we just started, it's already collected over 50 tweets, which is really cool. So it's going to start doing, Reddit and LinkedIn next as well. Now, in the meantime, we have one more prompt that we want to run for our agency. And remember, we can just keep running these in tandem. We don't need to wait in each section. We can just run them as we want. Now, this final prompt is something that I've literally used, and I have a video coming out on this channel about how I closed a client for over $3,800 using this exact prompt. So I can't wait to show you this. After every Fathom sales call, pull the transcript, score the deal out of 10 based on the budget signals and how committed the client sounded, and update their record records in my Airtable CRM, then draft a personalized follow-up email listing the agreed next steps and email it to me to send. So this is super helpful. We all get on sales calls, and obviously, it's good to just pull the transcript and then automatically, put it into our CRM. In the example where I closed a client for $3,800, I actually pulled it and turned it into an auto SOW creator, scope of work creator, in a beautiful PDF. That video will be coming out on the channel very soon. But let's go ahead and run this automation. And again, it's most likely going to ask us some important questions that are relevant, to this build. And also, while we're at it, let's go ahead and drag it into the Ryan's agency project section. So now it's asking, how do you access Fathom transcripts? You can just say, Fathom API. The cool thing is getting a Fathom API key is super easy. You literally just go to the settings in Fathom and then pull the API key. But the cool thing is that this already has access to my API key because I've used it on other builds. So it doesn't need to constantly keep asking me for the same API key. I just give it once and it can just do everything I need. And this is how you can turn Twin into this kind of like automated, almost like, COO inside of your company, because you can essentially give it all of the integrations and connections that it needs. And then you can just, in simple English, tell it what you need it to do. And it can go ahead and do that. And it already has all of the tools available to it, if that makes sense. Now it's asking, what's your Airtable base name? Now, in this example, I don't have one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, you can go ahead and make this all new for me, G. You can talk to it how you want to talk to it. Obviously, I'm just messing around here, but you don't need to be like so specific. It can figure it out on its own. And what email address should I send it to? Let's get it to send it to my email, which is Ryan@Twin.so, if you guys ever want to reach out. And look, now as you can see, it's already looking for my Fathom API to understand how to pull the transcripts. We're just going to let this run. It's just going to do it on its own. Now, total, by the way, guys, it's been about 4 minutes. So in the last 4 minutes, we've got 139 leads through the AI scoring engine in the Lead Scout. In the B2B Lead Hunter, it's asking us when we want to schedule it. So we're going to say 8 a.m. It's already hit my email rate limit today because I've already done a bunch of emails. But obviously, if you increase your plan, you can get more. Or we could, put it into something like Slack, for example. It doesn't really make a difference. And for the Fathom deal scorer, it's already getting started with Fathom supports webhooks, and it's doing the whole API endpoint stuff. And now all we have to do is literally just wait for it to be done. We can check in on each of these, obviously, by just clicking on any of them and seeing where it's at. Sometimes it will prompt us for more information, but to be honest, it gets all the information up front, which I really like. Other tools don't typically do that. Sometimes you'll be 30 minutes into a build and it'll ask for something else. Whereas in this example, you just let it run and it's usually finished by the end of it. Okay, so the B2B Lead Hunter is already finished. So today's results was 15 leads found, scored, and logged. We have a few other things here. It's logged in the Google Sheet, and the Google Sheet is already here. It's like hyperlinked here, so you can just check it out. And as you can see, it's actually made the email body for us as well. The email subject, the LinkedIn message. Hey, so Neptune is hiring a biz ops manager. Exciting stage to be at. At Twin Media, we help AI startups automate op bottlenecks before they become headcount problems. We'd love to share a few ideas. Now, we can obviously make that better. Like if we have like a lead magnet, for example, to give to them, or we have like a specific message that we want, we can just obviously integrate it into Twin. We could literally just jump into the chat right here and say, hey, the body wasn't very good. I want it to be more like this. Please change it to reflect that. And it will just go ahead and redo the entire thing for you. But as you can see, we've got scores, we've got the contact person, their role at the company, we've got their LinkedIn, and we've actually got quite a lot of really good information here, and it's all dated and organized in an easy to read way. So this is super helpful. If this was just running on autopilot every single day, your team or yourself is constantly going to have new leads to reach out to. And it's also not difficult for you to easily just switch and add an extra step to say, hey, at the start of every day, now please start sending these out. And every day it's actually just going to start sending those emails as well. So it's really just a question of just adding and adding and adding to make the automation better and built exactly in the way that you want it, essentially. But yeah, we're already done. And one of those, it literally took what, like 4 minutes, 5 minutes? Now the Fathom deal scorer is just finishing up. As you can see, it's now creating the Airtable. It's already authenticated everything to do with the Fathom. Now the Lead Scout is asking every day at 8 a.m. Yeah, we're going to say 8 a.m. Asia, Bangkok, that's where I am in Thailand right now. And honestly, I love Twin. I don't even have to do anything. I can literally just sit here with my coffee and just wait. I could literally be doing anything else. I could go back to bed if I wanted to right now. This is just going to work on autopilot. How cool is that? And it's different than like using NAN or Make or something like that, because for all of those, you have to craft each of the nodes individually and then make sure that they're all working and then connect the dots and then test and QA and everything. It's very complicated. Whereas with Twin, it's just all built in. Like you just give it one prompt and it just builds it, and it works really well. And I'm personally finding as a user of Twin that the more integrations I connect and the more I use it, the better it gets, because it just understands the context of my business. It understands the integrations that it has available to it, and it doesn't need me to constantly have to like restart every single time I want to start a new automation, if that makes sense. Okay, so it seems that the lead scout is done as well. So as we can see, we have 139 posts across Twitter, Reddit, and LinkedIn. We found 4 hot leads, 2 warm leads, and it's also given us a breakdown of those leads as well. And then we can actually go ahead and jump into this Google Sheet, which is created for us. And you can see all of the different information. You can see all of the follower accounts, the reasonings, the URLs, the competitor, the bio. But as you can see here, there's a bunch of leads here, and these are all people that are complaining about the tools that they're existingly using and that we could obviously as an agency fit in quite nicely and say, well, you know, we could do that for you. And of course, you would really niche this down to your specific use case. I'm doing this with one prompt, and obviously I'm going to get, you know, let's say a decent result. But if you were to give it like a lot more context and give the prompt much more, you know, information, you're going to get a much better response. I'm obviously just doing this kind of vague for the YouTube channel, but the more specific you can make it, the better it will be. Okay, so as you can see, the Airtable is done. It's setting up the follow-up email template, and as you can see right now, it's running the complete instructions for the agent. So this is pretty much done now. Probably just have to wait like another 30 seconds. Now, of course, the more complicated the build is, the longer it will take, and you may need to give it some additional prompting, but like this is in no way near as complicated or difficult as like, you know, setting up your NAN, or, you know, having to connect loads of different nodes together and then QA the entire thing. And if it breaks, it's not going to work. Whereas with this, at least, once we've built it, we build it once. And even if there are bugs, it will actually go ahead and fix those bugs, and it kind of self-anneals essentially. Okay, so the Fathom deal scorer is finally finished. As you can see, it has extracted the core data as an AI deal scoring. It's also created an Airtable section for the CRM, which I didn't have originally, but obviously you would, if you were using this already, have that most likely. And it's also created a follow-up email as well. And that's it, guys. It's really cool what Twin can do. At the end of the day, one prompt can automate one entire operation within your business. And I think in this video, I'm giving you some pretty simple examples, but you could see how complex this could get. But let me know in the comment section, if you want me to try an exact automation, I can actually just do it on this channel for you, and then maybe even make it more complex and build it out for you. So see you guys in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.